Hey folks, Matt Sharp here with another Pacific Angler Friday fishing report. Today is November 1st, so if you're watching this and it's nowhere near November 1st, please click in the link up here. That's going to take us to our report channel. We do this every Friday, so we probably got something a little bit more up to date for you guys. This week, we are going to look at the Vedder. We're going to look at the Stave and we're going to look at the Harrison. The big news is that it's going to be really sunny this entire week and relatively cold, so that's going to make conditions fairly challenging. We're going to walk through what you can do in those challenging conditions, and we're also going to look at the chum numbers again. They were better this week. They are still not good, and we still are quite concerned about what's going on in that fishery. Andre's got another little fly for us. It's more of a tutorial this time. Very simple fly, but a very simple technique on how to twist marabou. And as always, if you guys are new to this channel, please consider hitting subscribe, hit that like button, and let's get into the fishing report. Well, here we are, November 1st. I hope everyone had an excellent Halloween. For full disclosure, I'm filming this Halloween morning, 6:30. I got my coffee in hand, trying to wake up. I plan to do some trick-or-treating with my daughter tonight, so I didn't want to miss that, but I also didn't want to miss getting the report out to you guys. The good thing about it is I usually say make sure you check your weather forecast before you go out, because obviously I'm filming this 24 hours to 48 hours before it's released on Friday. But at least for this week, I don't think you guys have to worry too much. The reason for that is there is a ton of sun in the forecast coming down the pipes. We should see that push all the way out till the end of next week. Now that's again going to make for some nice time on the water, but it's going to make challenging fishing conditions. I'll talk about that more in a second. So let's pull up that weather. We're just going to take a brief glance at it because, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. And there it is. We're going to see highs of 11 right through till Thursday next week, and lows of sort of 4 and 5. A little bit warmer than maybe last week, but overall with clear weather like that, with a mix of sun and cloud, expect the evenings to get cold enough that the rivers plummet like a rock. We can pop that open and just confirm that with the real-time hydrometrics. And here is Squamish, and as you can see, she's getting low. She's at a 2.3, 2.4. That's not terrible fishing conditions, but it's not ideal conditions. And what do I mean by that? Well, you hear anglers talk about gin clear water. I've had a few questions. What does gin clear mean? Well, look at a bottle of gin, and that's what we mean. It's very clear. And what happens in those conditions is the fish can see everything. And that makes, obviously, angling much harder to fool these fish with a line, with gear setups. So over the next week, you guys are going to have to get a little bit more technical with your presentations. That means smaller flies, smaller lure presentations, as well as getting more technical with your leader setups, be it whether you're a float guy or a fly guy. We have a lot more information on that in the blog version of the report, so make sure you check that out. Links are in the description below. And you can see here on the Squamish another little interesting tidbit from it. You're going to see these little bumps at the bottom of the graph right now. If you guys want to pull up and look at it today, Friday, I bet you there'll be more of them. And a lot of people ask me what those are. And those are the hydro station above the Ashley Bridge. Every time they open, it bumps up. Now, you only see those bumps when the water's low enough that that is a substantial amount of water when they open that hydro station. So that's what these little ups and downs are at the bottom. So that's not really going to affect your fishing or your days out on the water. Let's roll up to the Chilliwack, and I just popped the graph out. But yeah, as expected, very, very similar numbers. We're sort of getting into, where are we here? Yeah, like a 1.8. That's not a bad height to fish. You can move around the river quite nicely, but again, I expect things to be very clear over the weekend and getting even clearer into next week. So dumb down your presentation, think a little bit more about your leader setups, and there still should be some decent salmon fishing over the next week, but I'll say nothing to write home about. You're going to have to work for them. Okay, rolling it over to the Albion test fisheries. Now, They don't have data past the 20th, unfortunately, on the Albion test fisheries. We talked about this last week, and specifically on the chum numbers. And as expected last week, we had a little bump in those Albion numbers, so we did see some decent fishing. Guys were hitting them on the Stave, guys were hitting them on the Squamish, and guys were hitting them on the Vedder. Oh, as well as, the Harrison. But again, numbers are down. So all of chum fishing will be catch and release across the lower mainland. Make sure you treat those fish with respect when you are doing that. Make sure they all go back, because we need every single one that's come back this year. But still worth getting out. I heard some okay reports. But again, nothing like we've expected in years past, so you are going to have to work for them. On a video front, Andre has another fly for us this week, and this was a really simple one. Andre sort of joked about doing it, but he sees so many popsicles tied slightly wrong. Now, if you guys don't know what a popsicle is, it's a very, very simple pattern, classic salmon style pattern. But he walks through basically a two-turn or a two-color popsicle for you guys. And for you jig guys out there, it might even be a skill you want to look at of how to sort of lay the marabou when you're wrapping it around on the hook. I'll link that up here, as well as links down in the description. If you guys are beginner fly tyers, you might want to take a peek at that and walk through it with the Dre. So that's everything I've got for you guys this week. Short and sweet. I hope you guys had an excellent Halloween, and I hope you guys enjoy the week of at least beautiful weather while out fishing, and it's a good opportunity to get technical with your presentations. As always, if you liked what you saw in the video here, if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting subscribing, and we'll catch you in the next fishing report.